Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Class is in session, and what I have on the agenda for you today is some Crunch gameplay. Instead of uploading all the gameplay at one time, we're actually going to break it down and just look at the engagements throughout the match. If we had a good engagement, I'm going to talk about what I did to swing it in my favor and win it. If we had a bad decision or a bad engagement, we're going to talk about what I could possibly do next time to either avoid it or to swing it in my favor. If you like this type of content or would like to see anything else on the channel, please let me know in the comment section below. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell to know when a new video goes live. And if you would like to hang out with the classroom live and watch the content live, we stream on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday over at twitch.tv/Mr. It'll be in the links below. Other than that, remember, I love all your beautiful faces, and let's get right into the video. Peace. So right here, I am about to finish this 3 camp, and I see that all that is in duo lane is Richter. If I look at the map, which I did, I see that he's pointing this way. There's 2 things that can happen if he's pointing this way. He's either going down to get out of the fight and get away, or he's going down here because Murdoch is currently on gold buff and Murdoch needs his help. So I'm actually just going to follow right behind him. I'm going to use Sentry, but at this point, if I hit a ward there and they're on gold buff, they're not worried about me on this ward. I'm going to follow behind this Richter. They're going to get sight on Murdoch eventually, and I'm going to see that Murdoch's half health. So I decide at that point, I'm going to go in. I have full confidence going in right here because earlier, as I was clearing my blue, Grux killed their Grux, and Rampage tried to come fight our Grux in phase and mid. So I basically have a free gank here, whether it works out or not. I'm going to see that Murdoch's half health. I'm going to chase him. He ends up flashing. I go ahead and flash for him and get the kill and just confirm it and burn my flash. Early on in the game like this, I'm going to burn my flash to confirm a kill unless it caused me to flash underneath tower, then I'm not going to. But he flashes out to right about here, and I'm able to confirm the kill.
Enemy tower under siege.
So right here, I see that Rampage is committing to duo lane with against Murdoch and Narbash. Now, naturally, I would go this way. However, if you look, Gideon is taking this pathing. And if all 4 of us are in front of them, it's just an easy disengage for them. So I'm actually going to swing wide and sentry this, and I don't get seen on a ward. As I'm coming around, I'm going to notice that Richter is half health. I'm going to focus Richter to get us into a 4v2 situation. I end up getting the kill on Richter. Murdoch and Rampage end up being able to get away, but we are able to confirm the kill on Richter and put us in a more favorable situation. So right here, I turn and see that our Gideon is chasing down this Rampage. This Rampage has 2 main exits. He has to go out this way, or he can come up these stairs right here and out. I have Murdoch behind me. I was not looking at the map at this point like I should have been. I did not see this Fae. I end up turning left here to go into the fog wall to try to cut off Rampage with Murdoch shredding me in the back. As I try to dash out, Murdoch shotguns me and just keeps me in my place basically. Faye comes up behind me and they end up tag teaming me, and I just get obliterated. What I could have done differently is if I was looking at the map and saw the Fae, I probably wouldn't have turned here. I probably would have just backed out. So to do differently, I just need to be more focused on what's going on completely. Because if I see this Fae, I know that this is not a good challenge. I just back out to Murdoch and Narbash and just get out. So you'll see as I'm clearing blue buff, I'm kiting, which means I'm just moving around. I'm mainly doing this to see the whole map, to see what I can see. Here, I see that Murdoch and Richter are pushed up. The Richter is focusing our Murdoch. Our Murdoch's going to be able to shred Richter at this point in the game. Our Narbash is on their Murdoch, who is under half health. I'm just going to come in here and just try my best to do with what I can do. So I'm going to come in here. Right here. And I'm going to be able to, because Narbash is going to speed boost me, and get a stun, and we're going to be able to get a pick on Murdoch. And then we're able to turn and fight the Richter. Richter, for some reason, decides he wants to stay and fight and try to kill our Narbash. It ended up costing him because I'm able to follow him around the corner and get him low and then dash on him to confirm the kill. So all in all, this would be probably the best engage of the match, where I ended up coming away with 2 kills in 1 gank. Kill there. Right here, you look at the map. Rampage is here, Grux is here, Faye's here. We just killed Murdoch, who just now spawned. We just killed Richter, who's waiting to respawn. Now is the time for us to take Fang. The 3 of us can take Fang no problem. You'll see towards the end of Fang that Rampage is going to try to come in and just look. He could try to steal Fang, but at the distance that he sees us at, he doesn't know the health. Murdoch does a good job of keeping him off of us. We confirm the Fang. We're able to get out, and all is good. We need to attack Fangtooth right now. Especially with me having ult. So right here, I see that Rampage is in between Grux and his tower. I'm going to skip my camps and just go straight to helping Grux. Grux is level 8 against a Rampage who's level 5 and doesn't even have ult yet. But Grux has no mana, so he has no abilities to protect himself or to use. If he had abilities, he could easily take this Rampage one-on-one. With no abilities, he is only doing basic attacks. So I'm going to come in and help him. As I come in, Grux ends up getting back underneath his tower. And as soon as Rampage sees me, he's going to fall back. He's not going to challenge me. Their Grux ends up coming down their lane, but he doesn't get far enough to where I'm in a 2v1 situation. So then I'm just going to back out, back into my jungle and go clear my camps. Grux, if you can get to your tower. I can box this Rampage. Yeah. I can outbox this Rampage right now because he's still. So right here, as I'm coming out of my camps, I saw their Grux going towards green buff. So I'm going to go ahead and show face here. I'm on a sentry. I end up hitting his ward. However, because he's focused on green buff, like I said earlier, he doesn't even notice that I came out of jungle. I'm going to see sight on him as soon as Grux turns towards green buff. Grux and I are both going to go in on him, and we end up getting his flash. Now, as a jungle, if you can't get the kill, getting their flash is one of the best things you can do because it hurts them in a long run because flash takes 300 seconds to cool down. So if I'm able to burn his flash here with Grux, and then I just back right back out. Right here, I end up centering and coming out of jungle, but because where I come out and where they're at, they just disengage us and nothing happens out of it. Murdoch ends up getting the kill there. I see that Gideon's being chased by Rampage. In all honesty, Gideon's level 9 against this level 6 Rampage. If he wanted to turn and fight this, he could probably win it. I'm going to dash in. Rampage is going to jump over my dash. We're going to try to back out. As we're backing out, we're going to get hit by a Fae. I kind of freeze a little bit because I get hit by the Fae. And then our Gideon gets stuck in their ult. So I'm sitting here. Gideon is one shot. And I'm just frozen for some reason. But luckily Gideon's able to TP out. For some reason, Rampage thought it would be smart to jump in and try to rock and ult Gideon. It ends up costing him because I'm able to turn on him, chase him down lane, and confirm the. So right here, Grux and I just cleared mini prime and we're coming out of mid and we see that there's 3. Rampage is past our tower. Richter and Faye are both underneath. Normally I go for who's the lowest health. However, as we come into this fight, Grux ends up pulling in Faye. So we just go in on her, confirm the kill. I start to go in on Richter. He starts running away and I kind of get greedy and try to chase him down. Luckily, somehow it doesn't cost me where I'm able to turn back around and fight with my team against Rampage and their Grux comes in. And we end up they end up getting the Rampage and I end up getting the Grux at the end of the team fight. And then we get out safely without being sniped by Murdoch, which was a high chance.
Ready, crunch, ready.
Yeah, they ain't ready for this. I don't want to box them. So right here, I see that Murdoch is stuck in between their Murdoch, who's on the other side of the fog wall, and their Richter. I decide that I'm going to go help them out. It probably wasn't the best choice because as I come around this corner for the Richter, Faye is also there. Faye ults me and then Richter also ults me. So as much as I died in this engagement, I would still consider it a decent engagement because I burned 2 of their ults. And the 2 ults that I burn are the 2 ults that cause us to be stuck in place and stunned. So to me, as much as I did die here, I would still find this to be successful. The only thing I probably could have done differently is maybe not dashed in right away. Played a little more passively and let Richter come to the Murdoch instead of going around this corner, getting stuck by Faye, and then getting stuck by Richter. They can't fight us here. So right here, I see the ward and I push it still. As I'm clearing this ward, Richter spots me. They see me on this ward. It takes about 2 seconds for sight to go away. I'm just going to back up and wait and see if they're going to push me. They don't. As I push out, I see Faye in the jungle. So I back away, kind of play chicken with her. And as I'm backing away, Murdoch surprises me around this corner right here. I dash in out of reaction, and then I see Richter right behind him. I use ult to re-dash and just disengage the fight.
Your power grows.
He's awarding this. I see Faye. I might step. So right here, I just backed and I'm coming into my red. I look over, I see that the Gruxes are fighting and I'm debating between red and Grux. I decide on my teammate. And so I'm going to dash here to try to close the gap as fast as I can. Our Grux ends up dying, but I'm able to go in on their Grux, pop my Icecorn Talons, and do some decent damage. Narbash ends up coming all the way from here and helping me out. However, what happens in the end is Murdoch ends up sniping the Grux and confirming the kill. As much as it might have been a steal of a kill, a trade is a trade and we'll take it. Can I get there? Can I get there?
Ready to re-crunch.
Enemy killing spree.
Oh. So as I get done clearing this wave, I'm heading back into my jungle. And I think because Narbash just walks through perfectly fine, my jungle's clear. However, as I come around this corner, I'm met by Rampage. I'm level 10, Rampage is level 9. However, Rampage ends up being full health. I'm at like half health. I go in for the challenge instead of just leaving. All right. So right here, he's going to be right around this corner. I end up panicking and dashing into him and trying to fight him. I end up blinking away to right here. However, he ends up throwing a rock and getting me. I should have just avoided this confrontation by, when I see him, just dashing out this way or blinking up here to where he couldn't have hit me with a rock so easily. I was around the corner. So right here, I end up saying, let's retreat. It's not a good fight. But as I noticed, they just collapse in. And I'm not just going to retreat and let my teammates die. I am the jungle. So part of my job is going in and helping out and doing damage. So I end up going in here. I believe I come away with 2 kills, if not 3. So I go in just because my team decides to go in. If my team would have decided to back out, I would have backed out with them. But since they decided to go in and just fight it, we're either going to die as a team or we're going to run away as a team. This is not a good fight. Retreat.
Re-crunch mode. Ready.
Enemy has been slain.
So right here, I see that the Rampage is pushing up to fight with, to fight against my duo. I'm going to try to head him off. We end up getting in a huge fight and it ends up costing me to where I end up getting sniped by Murdoch. the one bad thing about going in. So the one thing I could have done differently there is when I noticed that there were 3 and it was just me and Narbash. I'm the only one out of the 2 of me and Narbash that can do damage. So I probably should have just retreated and then told Narbash to retreat instead of trying to fight. Me trying to go in and be greedy for a kill is what ends up getting me killed there and getting sniped by Murdoch. So right here, I'm looking towards Orb, but notice that Faye and Rampage come into the jungle. They decide that they want to fight it out. I end up getting a kill on Rampage, and I'm able to actually disengage and get out of the fight. So right here, I see that Grux is pushed up. I'm going to come in behind him. You always want to try to sandwich people. That way, if they do flash away from your teammate, you're behind them. The Grux ends up getting sniped by Murdoch, and I try to go in on Murdoch. He stays around. He's dead. Yeah, you're dead, brother. Right here, as I get done clearing my red buff, I head down to my 5 camp, and I notice that Rampage is right here. I'm just going in on Rampage. Right here. I'm 2 levels up, and he's probably used some abilities to do some damage. He ends up popping out and away. However, our Narbash ends up coming into the jungle right here, stuns him, and we're able to get the pick. Good job, Narbash. It's a damn good Narbash that I'm playing with. So right here, we see again 3v2, and they were fighting from in front of them. I'm going to come in behind. Narbash gets an amazing stun on both of them, so I'm able to just come in, dash in, and do some damage. This right here, I've noticed that most of my ganks that work is when I'm sandwiching them. Not coming out from the side or in front of them, coming in behind them is the best way to get into an engagement. Because also if you come in behind them, so I'm coming in right here. Say if I realize that I need to get out, I'm able to just go straight down the line. If I come in front of them and go in, then I have to turn and then retreat.
Ready to recrunch.
Right here, I get greedy. I see that Murdoch's by himself and that these 3 are chasing Gideon. I'm going to try to get Murdoch, and it ends up costing me because I follow him and I end up getting stuck in a team fight and I end up losing. My one takeaway here is I got to stop being greedy when I get someone low and trying to chase the kill, and realize that just getting someone low and forcing them to have to back is on par with the same thing as getting a kill. It takes them out of lane for a time being, puts us into where we have 5 against 4 on the map. But with me getting greedy and dying, then it puts us in a bad situation.
Enemy tower under siege.
I got greedy. I shouldn't have gotten greedy there. So right here, we see that they're on Fang. At this point, it's Primal Fang. It's not just a regular Fang. We cannot just let them have this for free. I have Grux and Narbash coming in from the right. I'm coming in for the left. We're just going to dive on this. We end up getting the Fang and then getting out safe. So right here, I make a bad call. I saw that Rampage was by himself. So I'm like, okay, I can solo Rampage one on one. As I start fighting Rampage, Faye comes out of the jungle and I just get put in the blender. Um, I would say something I could do different is just being more aware of the map when fighting. Because in reality, the person's right in front of me with crunch. I'm not having to aim. I just need to be more aware of the map. If I would have saw Faye coming sooner, I probably could have dashed out and just gotten away free. But instead, I've hyper focused the Rampage and it ended up costing me. So right here, I was able to disengage from the Grux, but because Rampage was damaged so much, he had to back out of Orb Prime and let his teammates finish. I end up chasing him down, and about that time, Gideon comes around, and Gideon and I try to 2v, I guess, for this, and I end up getting a kill, but it also ends up costing me my life. In a situation where we're already down 2 people, a trade is not what we want, but it's what we got, and it ends up costing us big time because if I'm not mistaken, all we do is we ended up canceling out one person's Orb Prime buff.
The enemy has acted. An enemy has fallen.
So right here, I see that Grux is pushing his wave. He's pushing to our inhib. I don't want to lose an inhib here because that just means it's easier time for them. I do decide to go in on this Grux, and you'll hear me say it, that he's just swinging and he just annihilates me right off the rip.
Destroyed.
Bro, he's just swinging. So right here, I see Richter and Murdoch. And I see that Murdoch commits to challenging our Murdoch. So I'm like, okay, I can 1v1 Richter. I was sadly mistaken. Richter ends up boxing me for quite a bit, and then Murdoch turns to come and help. Richter stuns me, and then the rest is history. Here, I mean, the one thing I can just do is not challenge this. I don't have really a teammate to fight with because Murdoch's holding this lane, and then going against a Murdoch and a Richter who are both on par with me. I probably should have just avoided this fight altogether. I made the mistake of trying to go in because at the point we were at, I was like, well, if we're going to lose, I'm going to go out in style. And yeah, that's what happened. But I did not go out in style. I just went out. So obviously there we lose the game. There's some things I could have done differently, and there's some things I've learned from that. I just gotta learn to pick and choose my ganks and my fights better. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed. Remember, I love all your beautiful faces. Class is dismissed. Peace.